Mark Golding think that the government and the government's economic policy is going great thanks to Nigel Clark. Mark Golding thinks that. He says it, not in so many words, but he says it. Hello, Karen Cecilia here. I hope you're all well. And if you believe that the government economic policy under Nigel Clark is going well, smash that like button. I mean, smash it all over the place. I mean, Mark Golding, the Nigel Clark promotion is still causing all kind of reverberations around the globe. So if you're proud, you know what to do. But Mark Golding is having a fit about it all. And in his fit, as usual, how karma and the universe works, in his fit of being so vexed about Nigel's appointment, him going classic Mark Golding. Him just talking what he feels to be true. The real things in his heart. Him attack them. Mark Golding is having a fit about the government policy, having a fit about the Nigel Clark thing, so much so that he's praising the government economic success. And likely, you think I'm a lying? No, man, no, listen to him, man. You must listen to him, you know. Him is gold when he's in his element talking. When him trying to deceive, and when him trying to lie, that's when the best part of him comes out. Because the universe just F it up. You know, the universe just really just mess it up, and him can't do nothing about it but just say what in his mind. Everyone around the entire Caribbean and in the Commonwealth, very seriously, is celebrating not only Nigel's new job and bigging up Jamaica that we were able to produce a black youth to get a job like this. Everybody's not only bigging that up and happy for Jamaica, but it seems to me that around the Caribbean and in the Commonwealth, that people seeing this elevation of Nigel Clark as a significant sign that Jamaica is in fact on the right track economically. I can't explain to you because I'm not an economist. I don't know nothing about those things. So everybody happy, except you know who? Grumpy and Grumpier. Or Grumpier and Grumpiest. Or maybe it's three of them. Grumpy, Grumpier, and Grumpiest. So to figure out who those three are. So everybody happy about it, except them. Our cousin over in Barbados, Mia Matley, she's so overjoyed. She can't contain herself. She can't wait for October 31st to come so that she can go sit down with her cousin Nigel to discuss forward movement for Barbados. Our other cousins over in Trinidad and St. Kitts and Nevis, in Grenada, in Dominica, in St. Vincent, over in St. Lucia, even in Little Montserrat, our little cousins them over there, all over there. Our cousins are elated for us, elated for Jamaica. The elation is palpable. How them think that this little place that they always look forward to. Why do you think Jamaica is number one in the Caribbean? It's not just because of our athletes and our music and our food and our good ganja and our red stripe beer. It's much more than that, man. Jamaica leads the Caribbean and the Caribbean follows, and when we succeed, them elated and them envious to sometimes and jealous sometimes. But I'm always glad for us because them feel like a little bit of the shine can fall off on them. And that is why they always like to celebrate with us. And whenever a minister of government in any other Caribbean country get to speak on anything, that internationally, them like to use the words Jamaica. Go look back at it. There are no Caribbean country at any time in our history or any time at the existence of CARICOM and before that goes on the world stage and speak about their country's economy or their country's issues or their country's problem without mentioning Jamaica. It's like a word, a passage word. It's a secret password in order to get whatever it is that they're looking from, whoever it is that they're talking to. And everybody's happy for us. Except Mark Jefferson Golden, leader of King Charles III opposition benches in our parliament. Him can't be happy for us. Can't at all be happy for us. And this last weekend, he went out and he showed us just how much he despised us. In so many ways, it's not funny. But every time he has to be forced to stand up for something for Jamaica or stand up for Jamaica, every time that him have to do something, it's forced. We have to force him to. So when the backlash take him, when the social media onslaught take him, he is forced to do something. And every time he's forced to do something, it comes out exactly as it should. To show up his disgust and his hatred for us as a people and a nation. I tell you no, you must believe me. I'm not lying to you. No. I study this thing. I read a lot. I'm not going to school for it, but I read a lot. Mark Golden is disgusted by Jamaica. And he is more disgusted by us, the people. How we look, how we talk, how we are. Everything about us disgusts him. And you could tell, remember we started off, you could tell by the way him dance to our music, or him treat our music and our dance. It's like a mockery. So you know. So everything that he does, and when he's forced to do something, to come across as a leader, to show that he is somewhat of a statesman, every time them force him to, Mark, put on your suit and put on your big boy pants and go out there and say this, it always comes out. It's disgust for us. So finally, he grudgingly said congratulations to Nigel Clark. And of course, it comes with a caveat. He couldn't just congratulate Nigel and say, big up look a black youth, and say, we love that, and say the IMF would be great with a young youth like you. Well, I mean, Nigel, that's not young anymore, but I mean, the IMF would be great for you. Him couldn't go out and praise Nigel Clark's PMP bona fides, because Nigel Clark has a PMP bona fide. Matter of fact, some people say Nigel Clark had wanted to join the PMP at some point. Don't forget that Nigel Clark's uncle is Claude Clark. Don't forget that Nigel Clark's parents play a great role in the advancement of Jamaica's economy. Don't forget these things. Nigel Clark's parents contribute to Jamaica in huge ways. 2 black people. And Claude Clark, his uncle, was a minister of government. I think it was commerce under PMP administration. Him come from good stock, black Jamaican stock. And so, when Mark Golden had to say congratulations, when he was forced to do so, it comes with a caveat. And like a clockwork, the caveat itself exposes his lack of understanding of us as a people and his downplaying and politicizing of disappointment as a great thing for Jamaica. So he issued a 19 words statement. 19 words. 19 word statement. And the statement did 3 things. First, he offered a half-hearted, grudgeful congratulation to Nigel. And before the ink could dry on the full stop. Secondly, he raised concerns about the country's economic future. In these 19 words, you know. First, he offered the half-hearted, grudgeful congratulations because they forced him to. He never want to. Secondly, he raised concern about the country's economic future. And then third, he acknowledged that Nigel Clark's leadership in overseeing the country's financial health was a good thing. He acknowledges the leadership of Nigel Clark by saying that we him don't know what the government are going to do without Nigel Clark. The things that he said in congratulating Nigel Clark in that 19-word statement. 19 words. What did that statement say? That statement said congratulations. Then the statement went on to talk about the country's economic future. And then he proceeded to say that, without Nigel Clark, the thing are going to fall apart. And basically, that's what the statement was saying. But in saying so, he acknowledged that Nigel Clark's leadership in overseeing the country's financial and economic health is a good thing, a great thing, and him can't stand it. All of that in 19 words. Now you tell me if the universe is not a great place. Huh? As a writer and an avid reader, I can tell you that sometimes saying less is more often than not more complicated than saying more. In other words, a short statement can put in more trouble than a longer statement would. Depends on what the topic is. In saying less, the words that you use sometimes can come under scrutiny and create more than you expect. And a 19-word statement, which basically saying that, all right, we congratulate you, but seeing that you have done such a great job managing our economy, what is going to happen now that you're leaving? Who you're leaving in charge? We are worried that we will not find anybody as good as you are. In 19 words, that was basically what it is. Yeah? All right, we are congratulating. I don't want to, but I congratulate you. And seeing that you have done such a great job overseeing the financial health of our country, we want to ask what is going to happen now that you're leaving. Who you're leaving in charge, because we are worried that we will not find anybody as good as you. That's basically what Mark Golding's 19-word statement said to Nigel Clark. Bigging up Nigel Clark. Hello, no smash the like button. Big up Nigel Clark. Because, I mean, who could have gotten this out of Mark Golding? The thing about these short statements, when for political people, like when you're trying to say if you can one up something, or you're trying to say if you want to say one thing, but you also want to mean another thing, these short statements, them go through like several drafts. Because I'm looking for specific words to say what you mean without like sounding like a vex, or to say what you don't mean, but make it come across like you mean it. And that is what that statement was. I can imagine how they struggle to come up with the words. I can imagine how much time them change the words because them don't want to seem like them giving Nigel a big up, and them don't want to seem like them, them think it's a good thing. So I can imagine how they struggle with that short statement. But they were content on making it as impersonal as possible. And in a situation like this, the statement should be both personal and impersonal. So it could address that, yeah, we congratulate you because you are a bright and very good finance minister. And then it could also segue into the impersonal by saying, yeah, but we, in spite of that, we want to know what we are. No, but they never know how to frame it. So they ended up half-heartedly congratulating Nigel, questioning him about the state of affairs, and then bigging him up and telling him, boy, things were so good with you, worried about you gone now. And they never read it several hundred times, and of course, them have nobody that will disagree with them to tell them that statement that will work, because people are going to rip it apart. So that's what they do. They were intent on getting to the part about raising concerns about our economic future. That's a part they were most intent on getting to. So they quickly dispense of the congratulations. And any PR person putting together something like that would tell them, let's get the congratulations out of the way and then let's lick him down with something else. So they were intent on getting to that part about raising concerns about the economic future, a future which really does not worry them, but they are trying to belittle Nigel's stewardship of the economy, but ended up telling the world that the success and stability of our economy is largely due to Nigel Clark. That's what the statement did. They were intent on trying something, but it went the other way because the universe, one must fear the universe. That's what I mean. I was talking about my mind. Now when the universe playing a joke on me. So them trying to belittle Nigel stewardship of the economy, but ended up telling the IMF that they made an excellent decision, telling the world, telling the CARICOM and the Commonwealth that the success and stability of the Jamaican economy is due largely to Nigel Clark. So by and large, Mark Golding and the PMP actually did Nigel Clark the biggest big up. So now they are wondering who's going to take up Nigel's position. So Mark went out and he spoke at the very sparsely attended Disgrace for a conference in Eastern Westmoreland. I will be saying something about that very, very shortly. I never want to get to Eastern Westmoreland so quick. But I will get to Eastern Westmoreland. Because he went on to say that without Nigel Clark, the government is going to fall. So once again, he's commending Nigel Clark. Bigging up Nigel Clark. Now the government need to put out all of that what Mark Golding say, commending Nigel Clark for his stewardship of the economy. Because he's basically saying that without Nigel Clark, the thing not going to work. Of course, him know that that part is a lie, that the thing not going to work. Finance ministers come and go. It's a part of the revolving door of governing. People come and go. Ministers come and go. People in charge of stuff come and go. It's a revolving door. It's government. That's how it works. Then he went on at the same conference, on and on and on, about the IMF appointment, took the government by surprise, and so it's a week now. It's a week now, and the government no name nobody yet. Now, I don't know what we should forgive Mark for. Should we forgive him for his ignorance on how government works in these things, or his stupidity in actually going in the public sphere to say anything that he wants to say if him can score some political points. Remember, like him go talk about dead people to vote, and we're going to get wicked pan them, and the man them are idiot, and, the real him always shows up when him trying to fool people. That is what the universe does to him all the time. Every time him try to fool up the people him talking to, the universe mess it up, and the real him come alive in the evening. In the evening, the real thing come alive. The real him come alive. So let me see if I can help Mark Golding on something. The IMF is not a private sector organization. The IMF is not a startup in a Silicon Valley company or something. The IMF is an international financial institution with relationships spanning the entire globe. It's not a little free organization. This financial institution has relationships in every corner of the world. Jamaica is a partner with the IMF. Maybe we are not borrowing money from them or into any kind of what they call it, balance of payment agreement with them. But the IMF is still an economic partner for Jamaica. We still work with them on stuff. They still work with us on stuff. Which means that the job offer to Nigel would only be facilitated after discussions with the Prime Minister. What's the matter with Mark Golding? You think the IMF would have get up and offer Nigel Clark a job, and Nigel Clark just go meet with them and tell them, yeah? That's not how these things work. Somebody, help him, the man. The IMF leaders, primarily the managing director, or the regional director for the IMF, would be in charge of the Caribbean region or Commonwealth or CARICOM countries, would have had a discussion with the Prime Minister. When they have a discussion with Nigel, we want to give Nigel a work here. We know him is your finance minister. How you feel about that? Because the Prime Minister could easily make the case to the IMF that, listen, we are at a critical juncture of our economic program right now, and there are certain things that only him can carry through until so and so and so. They would have had that discussion. And clearly the Prime Minister never thought that we are at any critical juncture where we couldn't use another finance minister to get it through. So they must have had those discussions, Mark. But because you're a traitor and a lying, deceptive person, you don't know these things because you don't know how to behave honorable. You believe everybody behave like you, Mark Golding. But everybody don't behave like Mark Golding. Because you and Peter Bunting set about to do everything in an underhanded way. Deceive deceive and lie and betray and sabotage. You don't know what it is for people to have decent, common, open discussions about things that are of importance to not only them, but the country. But of course you wouldn't know that, nothing about that, because you don't have no belief in a Jamaica. Mark Golding has absolutely no belief in Jamaica. Mark Golding don't believe in us as a country. Him don't believe in us as a people. Him don't like us. Him don't trust us. If we were to believe Mark Golding's version of things, such an offer and an acceptance by Nigel Clark would greatly damage the relationship between Jamaica and the IMF. If the IMF go behind the government back, behind the Prime Minister's back, go make Nigel Clark an offer, and then him, Nigel Clark, as the finance minister, go behind the man who hired him back to go accept this offer, that would undermine the entire relationship between Jamaica and the IMF, and it would show that nobody have no disregard for us. And not everybody still like you, Mark Golding and Peter Bunting. Not everybody is like Mark Golding and Peter Bunting. People actually obey rules. People actually follow the protocols of how some things are done. So the IMF would not have had a discussion or made an offer to Nigel Clark without first discussing it with the Prime Minister. It is just common decency, and it's just the way the world run. The world not run the way like Mark Golding and Peter Bunting decided to run Peter Phillips out of PMP and take over the PMP. And so the world run. The world not run the way. That's why I want to lead this country. So him can go run the country just like how him run the PMP. That's what he wants and that's what he believes. That's why he could come out and make these foolish statements. Such an offer and any kind of acceptance by Nigel Clark without prior discussions with the Prime Minister and the government of Jamaica, which the IMF have a relationship with, would have been, would damage reputation of both the IMF and Jamaica. Both. Because then Jamaica could also get up and make us think about it and saw the IMF out of order and rude. Yeah? We could have done that. But lucky for us, we have evidence that Mark Gold is a lying liar. So nobody believes anything that he says. But him always go out to spout these things to see if him can score political points. So him out there talk about the government can't find a replacement for Nigel. 1 week have passed. Can somebody just slap him hard? Please. The position of finance minister in Jamaica is filled. As of now, the finance minister is Nigel Clark. He's Jamaica's finance minister. He has had an offer for a job with the International Monetary Fund, which he has accepted, and that offer comes into effect on October 31st. I would imagine that Nigel have at least until the ending of September or early October running the finance ministry and putting things in place and tidying up where he need for tidy up. And Mark Golding going out there once again, putting Jamaica's reputation on the line by talking about it took government by surprise. Them the surprise. Trust me, we know. Yeah, they be like a dirty boy. Like a big dirty corner boy. We are gossip about government activities. Putting Jamaica's reputation once again on the line. Suggesting that the government never know Nigel got the work. Suggesting that the government never sign off on Nigel taking the work. Suggesting that the government have nobody to fill the position for finance minister. But also inadvertently bigging up the government's economic policy under Andrew Holness and Nigel Clark. Stupidity always reigns supreme until it is exposed. So the stupidity in him head until him start talk. Mark 19 word statement was a very, very big up for Nigel Clark and the success of the Andrew Holness government economic policy. I told you before, the universe have a way of exposing all that really needs to be said. Even when you don't want to say it, it just brings it out because it's the universe. And that is how the universe behaves with liars. That's why it's not a good thing to just practice lie. because the universe of our way of exposing it, which it did with Mark Golding, by suggesting to our international partners, by suggesting him want to throw cold water on the celebration and the big up that everybody across the world is giving Jamaica and Nigel Clark, and by bigging up Jamaica and Nigel Clark, they are extending that bigging up to the government economic policy. And Mark Golding can't stand that. Him can't stand it because it don't work well for him. Him can't stand it because if people see that and hear that, for him chances of becoming prime minister becomes less. And him willing to sacrifice Jamaica for his ambition to become prime minister. So always, Jamaica get the lick down from him. Always. And that's what he's doing now. Inadvertently, bigging up the government, bigging up Andrew Holness, bigging up Nigel Clark, and the government policy. But at the same time, trying to belittle the appointment, trying to throw cold water on the celebration, trying to sully and dirty the water of the congratulations across the world that Jamaica is getting. And I'm trying to just stem that by suggesting that all of this took the government by surprise and that the government don't have a replacement. Have you ever heard anything so ludicrous? Have you ever seen a man like this in your entire life on our political scene? Ever? Jamaica has never seen somebody. Jamaica has never experienced somebody like Mark Golding. And him believe, and some with him, that the Jamaican voters are going to vote for him and give him 32 seats for him to become prime minister. Jamaica, every video I do, I will close with this. We need to think twice about that as to whether or want to give this man the reins of government, to actually hand him the key to Jamaica House. Thank you very much for listening to my rant. God bless you all. Stay safe, everybody, and please do keep your children safe. Wish them back to school safe. And apologize. Send out heartfelt, to the policewoman that lost her son from this thing. I mean, it is very heartrending, very, very heartrending. And so we all pray for that officer, and pray that pray that she just survived this mentally and otherwise. So bless you all. Help everybody, please. Let's keep all the children safe.